We are 2 weeks into the Three Rivers Homestead Pantry Challenge, and if you're watching this, chances are you've heard of the challenge, but just in case you haven't, it is a 2-month-long absence from going to the grocery store. So basically not shopping at the grocery store for 2 months. Now, why would we do this? Why is this a challenge? Well, I think the effort and the main point of the challenge itself is to eat all the things that you already have in your pantry or in your fridge or in your freezer, to not let food go to waste and to actually eat the things that have been just pushed to the back of all those places for weeks or months or however long it's been. That is the main goal, and that's been kind of the purpose, to eat up what you have before spring and summertime come. And as we all know, that's when the most abundant fresh produce comes. So what are the challenges thus far? Well, I think the biggest challenge is coming from a lack of preparedness when we started this. We were missing some things in our pantry that we really enjoy to eat, and there might be some like minor things like chips to go along with our homemade salsa, or we love ranch dressing and we're out of that. So, and we put different dressings and condiments and stuff on dishes to bring out the flavor and to add another layer of flavor to it. And so I think, like, from a preparedness point of view, beforehand, we probably could have done a better job of like really taking inventory on what we had and what we want to eat throughout the 2 months. That way we would have been more prepared for all the different varieties of meals that we had. I think one of the positives is that we were eating a ton more vegetables, mostly frozen vegetables that we were harvesting in the fall, but vegetables nonetheless. And I think part of that is because we have less diversity or less opportunity to create more creative meals. And so we are really using up what we have, and we had a lot of vegetables. So that would be a plus, that would be a positive to the challenge so far. The main things that we've been eating would be smoothies. Pretty much have a smoothie every day. We're eating a lot of potatoes, a lot of spaghetti squashes, we've been eating a lot of rice because we have a lot of rice on hand. So things that are pretty easy to prepare, things that might not be our go-to on a given day, but since they're there and we're not allowing ourselves to go shopping, that's what we're eating. But to keep things a little bit more interesting, I found this website that's kind of like a little cheat code. I found this app on my phone. It's called Supercook. And what you do is you put in the ingredients, or you put in what you have in your pantry, and it creates recipes for you to use. So I've never used this before. This is going to be completely new, but I'm excited to try it, and let's see what we come up with. So I'm just going to go ahead here and open the app. Right. So when you open the app, it just asks you to add ingredients. So we're just going to go through here, and I'm only going to do a couple, and I'm going to speed through this because this will probably take a while. So garlic, onion, tomato, potatoes, carrots, mushroom, zucchini, so many zucchinis, jalapeno, broccoli. Okay, I think we finished adding everything, or pretty much everything. I'm gonna see what the recipes they come up with are. Okay, so we found a recipe that we're gonna try, and it actually is gonna be really good because we are on an Indian kick lately, and the recipe that I found is a red lentil curry. With this curry, you can throw it on top of rice. Like I said, I'm gonna throw it on top of spaghetti squash. You can throw it on top of really most things, I think. Quinoa, a bed of vegetables, cauliflower, just like, it's pretty versatile, so I think it will go really, really well. So I'm gonna hop over to the oven and we are gonna start cooking this. All right, so for this curry, what you're gonna need is red lentils, obviously. I would suggest if you have a wok or a high cook pan, something like this, I would suggest cooking with that. I think it would make the process a lot easier. I'm gonna use an onion, some garlic, a bunch of different spices. I have this Indian spice kit right here that I haven't tried yet, so I'm really excited. It's supposed to be like authentic Indian spices. So that should be really good. And then we're gonna use about 2 cups of chicken broth, a cup or a container of coconut milk, and then a container or a cup, a pint size jar of some of our tomato sauce that we have from the garden. So that's all gonna go together. It's gonna simmer down for a while. The spices are gonna come up in that simmering process. It's gonna be super tasty. You can kind of adjust the spices depending on how much heat you want. But yeah, I'm gonna get started on this. I'm gonna chop up the garlic and the onions, and then I'm gonna show you where we go from there. We're gonna turn this onto high, and I'm gonna start cutting up this. I'm also gonna put a little bit of some olive oil in here. You could use butter or like ghee, really any other sort of fat source. I'm just gonna use olive oil. I'm cheating here and I'm just using pre-minced stuff. It's just as good. All right, so while that's going, I'm gonna prepare our liquid. So we're gonna be using 2 cups of chicken broth or chicken stock. We're gonna be using a pint size of tomato sauce that we had canned up from the summer. And then we're gonna be using 1 can of coconut milk. We're using coconut milk. You could also use like heavy cream, which would be really, really good. I don't have that, so coconut milk is the answer. All right, so I'm gonna turn the heat down to a medium here, and then I'm gonna add our 3 liquids or sauces. So first I'm gonna add our tomato sauce in here. And it was definitely ready for the liquids because that was a little sizzle in there. I'm gonna add 2 cups of our broth. And then, gotta get all that goodness out. And then after that, I'm gonna add our coconut milk. And this is gonna seem like there's a lot of liquid in here, but that's okay, because once we add the lentils, that liquid is gonna get soaked up really, really quick. So once the coconut milk is in there, I'm just gonna stir it up, and it's gonna turn this nice, like, kind of orange color. And it's gonna look really, like I said, it's gonna look really soupy, but the lentils are gonna soak it up really, really well. And this would be a good substitute time too for heavy cream with the coconut milk if you have it. But I don't. Again, one of the preparedness things that I forgot to do. So, all right, so we're gonna let this sit for a couple minutes, and then we are gonna add our spices. So for our spices, we're gonna be using some chili powder, some coriander powder, some turmeric, some ground masala, ground cumin, and a little bit of paprika, as well as salt and pepper. The recipe calls for a teaspoon of each of these spices, but I am going to double that because, if not triple it, because I like a really flavorful curry, and a teaspoon just doesn't sound like a lot to me. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll report back to you whether it works or not. The liquid mixture has been cooking down, kind of getting to know each other a little bit, so I'm gonna be putting our spices in. So we're gonna start with 2 teaspoons of ground masala, 2 generous teaspoons. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, I'm gonna do 2 of turmeric. This will also help with the color of it, give it a nice kind of golden orange color almost. And then I'm gonna start with only 1 teaspoon of chili powder, just in case, because once you spice it too much, you can't really go back. Then we're gonna do a few shakes here of the cumin. I like cumin, so I'll add quite a bit. And then some paprika here. And salt. I like salt again, so I'm gonna overdo it, and then a little bit of pepper. And once we stir these in, we'll kind of let these flavors and these combinations cook with each other in the pot for a little bit, and then we will go ahead and add our red lentils. So we got that stirred. I'm gonna actually turn this back up to high because I'm gonna get this boiling, and once it boils, then I'm gonna throw our 1.5 cups of red lentils into the mixture there. Our curry here is boiling, as you can see, so I'm gonna turn this down all the way to low. I'm gonna get it mixed up a little bit there. And now I'm going to add 1.5 cups, maybe 2 even, of these red lentils. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna add 2 cups here of the red lentils. And then after that, 2 cups here, and this will thicken up really well. So with it turned on low, I'm gonna go grab a cover. And we're gonna leave this covered for about 20 minutes and check on it. After 20 minutes, it'll get much thicker than it is. We might need to open it up and let some more of the steam go out, but we're gonna do 20 minutes and then we're gonna come back and check. So it's been about 20 minutes. I'm gonna go check this here and see. Yep, it definitely thickened up. Might have thickened up too much. We might have gotten away with just 1.5 cups of lentils, but I'd say it's a pretty good, that was a bad decision. Poor life choices, Austin. Pretty good consistency here though. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn the heat off, and then I should probably taste it and see how it is. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It definitely has a kick to it. So the chili powder, I would say, unless you like it really spicy, just stick with the teaspoon on that, or even less maybe. But no, this is pretty good. I am gonna add one more secret ingredient. Hang on. Totally optional step, but I am gonna add 3 tablespoons of butter to this curry here. And I think that's just gonna be the missing piece. I forgot one step, one key ingredient, and I'm gonna dice up some cherry tomatoes and throw it in there too. So this is a super healthy meal. It's got a lot of high quality protein with the lentils, some good quality carbs with the lentils as well, and then some fats with the coconut milk and the butter. Butter's optional, but yeah, this is gonna be really good, and I'm gonna put it over a bed of spaghetti squash. But obviously, traditionally, it would be over rice, but you can do quinoa, you can even do like broccoli or cauliflower. It's a super versatile dish, and yeah, I'm excited to try it and eat it. Ooh, it was super good. So with the leftovers, I'm gonna be putting some in the fridge and then some in the freezer. Because there was butter in there, I'm not gonna can it, I'm not gonna mess with that. But if you've never had red lentil curry before, I highly suggest that you try it. And I will leave the recipe in the description, as well as the app that I use to find that recipe, the random recipe generator app. Thank you guys so much for watching. The challenge is going really well for us. We're excited to step into the second half of this first month and see what month 2 even will bring. But yeah, we're super excited and it's been really good. And I want to thank you guys for all the support in the last couple videos that we've had. It's been really cool to see people coming and people showing interest in these types of videos. So thank you. My name is Austin, this is Cypress and Sparrow Homestead. And if you want to check out the original pantry video that we made, you can click this video right here.